Well, hello everybody. Here I am again, Puerto Vallarta, with another video fishing report, and this will be a little bit quicker, I think, than last time, since not a whole lot has changed. Please excuse the noise. I'm sitting here in front of the shop, and I got some people doing some remodeling things. It's off season, so they do that right now, just before the high season comes up. Just to let you know, high season starts officially October 1st in Puerto Vallarta, but nothing really starts happening until about the middle of November. Back to fishing. All right, this week, I'm kind of happy to be able to talk a little bit about El Banco. It's 50 miles out from Puerto Vallarta, and at one time was considered one of the top fishing grounds in the entire world. We would have yellowfin tuna on a regular basis at 250 pounds and not even think twice about it. We'd have some up around 375. We've had a few over 400 out there, but that kind of went away with all the seiners and all the production ships fishing all the tuna out up the entire west coast. Pretty disgusting. I don't want to get into that. And but right now, El Banco, we're seeing a lot of, believe it or not, blue marlin out there. And they've been hanging out there for quite a while now. So anybody that's looking for blue marlin, they got black marlin out there as well. They can have yellowfin tuna. The yellowfin tuna be running with the spinner dolphin. They call those tornillos in Spanish, or that's the name they use around here. So that's kind of like what's going on at El Banco. 12-hour trip. Water temperatures are still running 88, 89 degrees. And there's plenty of bait out there in the form of skipjack tuna. And believe it or not, there's ballyhoos out there as well. So no, squid are gone this week. A lot of mullets out there. So right now, looks like a very good place to go. If you want to come in a little bit closer, come straight from the bank, come in about halfway from there, you're going to see a lot of sailfish in the area. The marlin will thin out, the sailfish will come on, right off Punta Mita there. So, which are out about 8-10 miles off the point there, Punta Mita, you're seeing mostly sailfish. Possibility of a blue marlin. I haven't seen too many blacks out there. They've been hanging more around Corbetena. And, once you... Gotta collect my thoughts here. Once you turn around and you hit that 8-mile mark like that, you come in, the sailfish will be until about 3 miles. But then once you come in a little closer like that, you start running into trash lines, floating debris, and the water might be a little bit on the clean green side or blue water. It's not that high visibility, dark purple blue like we like, but it's good enough. So the clean green, if you get on the edges of that, the water temperatures can be a little bit better. You might find some happy fish and better fish temperatures. And that's what's going on out there. Nacho off Arpagati went out, caught a nice log, caught about 10 different Dorado, all of them over 15 pounds, most of them in the 20-25 pound range. So right now an 8-hour trip is well worth its means if you want to catch Dorado and sailfish. 12-hour trip for El Banco. Now talking about Corbetena is the other direction. It's south of the bank, El Banco, by about 25 miles. And right in between there and between the bank and El Banco, I call it a midpoint out there. Many a tournament fish has been caught out there. We got sailfish out there, but it's going to be mostly marlin. And in reality, that's kind of like a tuna hotspot. So if you're out there targeting tuna, you ignore the midpoint out there. You just might be missing the game, so to speak. So if you're coming, going from one to the other, we used to do that a lot before fuel prices were crazy. And if you're going from one to the other, stop at midpoint and see if you can hit some tuna. They got some deep channels there. Once you get closer to Corbetena, about halfway between midpoint and Corbetena, that's where you're going to see the black marlin out there. And they've been seeing some yellowfin tuna out there, 20, maybe 30 pounds, kind of small, but they're always out there. But here's a little heads up with the yellowfin right now. The bite is happening right at sun up, so you got to be out there well before sun up. And it's happening right at sundown, so it's more after sundown than before sundown. So if you're going after tuna, just keep those facts in mind. And if you're down by Corbetena, you're going to see some tuna, but they're not going to be anything like that. There's black marlin in the area. They got Cubera snapper. They're running 50 pounds. They're taking troll bait, but you can still go out there and jig for them if you want. Another thing that I don't talk a whole lot about is roosterfish. Now, there's a guy down here in Cabo Corrientes. I have contact with him. And, people always ask me about roosterfish. What are the roosterfish run? Well, if you're in the Puerto Vallarta area and you can't go out there and fish the Marietta Islands anymore, the roosterfish are kind of an iffy subject. you got to go up by Caballeros. Don't ask me how to spell that. You got to go up by Caballeros, which is up by Punta Mita there. And there's a rock called Marinal Rock. Now, Marinal Rock is very shallow, and it's right there in the surf line, and it's a rooster playground. And that's if you're here in the Puerto Vallarta area. But if you really want to take a shot at roosters, you want to come down during the rainy season, and it is rainy season right now. What happens is you get that surface fresh water from the rain, and it doesn't readily just mix right in with the salt water. And the fish love that. They call it agua dulce. And that agua dulce is perfect for rooster fish. Now you got that agua dulce in a shallow, sandy, rocky kind of structure area, and you put that, you put a bait in front of those rooster fish, and it'll happen all day long. But you got to go down to the south end of the bay, and that's going to be a 10-hour trip if you're leaving from here. Now, we have a guy out there, and he does shore fishing, but it's out there by Mito, and that's to say that's a pain in the ass to get to would be an understatement, but it is very nice out there once you get out to the beach. It's away from the beaten crowd. They got a couple of hotels out there. You might want to make it a weekend or something like that. But the rooster fish running in the beach out there are phenomenal, and they're abundant, and they're happening right now. You can fish for these from shore, or we have a boat that you can come back and hit from the backside over there, and they will take troll baits, and they will troll in the area right there. But for all you rooster fish guys that are looking for an option, that's a good option, and pretty secluded, hard to get to. I don't really know how we would get you out there. We'd have to figure that one out. But if you wanted to stay out there for a couple days, but we can figure something out. But coming back closer to home, inside the bay, you know, we haven't seen so much rain this week. We're still seeing jack crevalles in the bay, even though that's considered a wintertime species. It just goes to show fish will do what they want. There's so much bait in the bay, I can understand why it's not leaving. And we still have Sierra mackerels, other cold water species around the buoys early in the morning. And on top of that, we've got some Dorado in the bay. We got a couple of trash lines. It hasn't been raining as much, so we haven't had as much dirty water flowing into the bay. The trash lines that are out there are now more mature, and you've got bonita feeding on those. You've got skipjack tuna up to around 15 pounds feeding on it. You got Dorado feeding on it. They could be anywhere from 5 pounds to 15, 20 pounds. It just depends what you run into. If you're down by Los Arcos, that would be probably your best location. Best opportunity for catching any of those, which is in the southern end of the bay, just before you come to about 3/4 of the way to Yellowfin. And Punta Negro might have some rooster fish. I wouldn't count too much on that. I wouldn't go make a special trip for it unless somebody said something. And again, like I said, jack crevalles are out there. Still seeing the occasional sailfish in the bay. There's a channel that comes straight in from Corbetena, and that got a little current that follows it and brings a lot of bait and fish with it. So a lot of times you'll see sailfish. Last week we saw blue marlin, as a matter of fact, kind of a freak thing. But that's pretty much what's going on. With all the bait in the bay, we got a lot of mullets. Ballyhoos. If you read my fishing article I wrote this week, I was talking about ballyhoo bait. Ballyhoo is just like the bait. Everything loves ballyhoos. And right now we got a whole lot of them out there in the bay. I just put 30 bags, basically 300 ballyhoo in my freezer right now. We're going to start rigging those up. If you need bait, let me know. Come on in. They're not going to be cheap because it's not cheap for me. But I got them, and they smell great, and they catch fish. So as long as you keep that in mind, it doesn't really hurt too much. And let's see what else. There's a lot of bait in the bay. If you're over there by La Cruz, you might see some sailfish over there as well. For some reason, they've been hanging out. Other than that, that's pretty much about. Pretty much that's what's happening this week. The weather, you know, it's 90 degrees every day. Now the humidity, that's going to be, if you're lucky, it's only 70%. But all right. But as far as high season goes right now, we're moving right into it. So if you're coming down during the summer, hotel rates are down, fishing grounds are empty. Tournaments start about mid-October. If you guys are looking for a boat, you want to get in one of the mini tournaments around the area here, let me know. We have one I particularly like. It's a Dorado tournament. It happens in the middle of November, somewhere around the 15th or so. It's a Dorado tournament, and it's only $250 to enter the tournament. And all the Dorado that are caught, they bring it up to the grill, and they cook it on the grill, so you can eat free Dorado. So it's kind of a fun thing. I think a couple beer companies are sponsoring this a little bit too, and there's some prize money to be made. it's kind of a local happening, you know. It's not kind of a, we get a lot of visitors from out of town, but it's more or less a local thing. So keep us in mind for tournaments. And I'm sorry this is a little bit longer than I wanted it to be. And excuse me for the cough fit over there. I'm smoking too many cigars again. You can probably tell from my voice. But in the meantime, if you have any questions, feel free to call us. I'm as close as an email or a phone call. And hang in there. And I guess that's about it. So until further notice, this is Stan in Puerto Vallarta with Masturbator Sportfishing Tackle saying don't forget to catch your fish. And take it easy. We'll see you later. Yeah.
Voltealo, güey. ¿Sabes, güey?
Una grande, 200 pounder.
Hey, don't get scared.